Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with my review of the Soundcore Life Q10 wireless headphones. Now I recently reviewed the Q20s, they were a big hit. People really liked those, but I kept getting a lot of questions about the Q10s. So I never had a chance to get my hands on these prior to now, and I have to say I'm really impressed. Soundcore was kind enough to send these out to me so I could do a full review on them, and I have to say, pound for pound, these are the best headphones that I've listened to under the $100 price range in a long time. So if you want something that has great power, that has tons of bass, that has even more bass with the bass up functionality, you get 60 hours of playtime and you can get 5 hours of playtime on a 5 minute charge. I mean, seriously, it's got everything you could ask for. So fantastic headphones. But before we get into the review, I do want to say if this is your first time being here, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you watching. If you do enjoy this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you want updates on the latest and greatest, hit the notification bell so you can get notifications on new videos. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the Soundcore Life Q10s. All right, so here we are up close and personal with the Soundcore Life Q10s. So before I go any farther, I do want to say these were sent out as a review unit from Soundcore. This is not sponsored. I'm not being compensated for this in any way, and they're not getting to see this before you are. Now, these guys have some phenomenal power and great performance all at a wonderful price point. I did look on Amazon today as of February the 17th, and they're $29.99. I think they normally MSRP for about $39. 40 millimeter drivers, high resolution sound, bass up technology for extra bass, ultra comfortable, breathable ear cups, 60 hours of playtime over 2 days. That's just ridiculous. And you can charge it for 5 minutes and get 5 hours of listening time, which is great too. USB-C charging, Bluetooth 5.0 with like 45-50 foot range on it. You can take these and use them pretty much anywhere. Now, they do have a few drawbacks. They don't have an IPX rating. That doesn't mean you can't work out in them. If you get a little bit of sweat, that's fine. Wipe it off, but definitely don't take these in the shower or out in the rain. You can see here in the box, it comes with the USB-C cable. There is a auxiliary cable for a 3.5 millimeter input jack. You can use that in the event that these die. You can still use it. You don't get as much power or performance out of them, but it'll still work that way. And if the power is on, then you get even better quality sound if, from the straight pipe wired connection on your phone, if you happen to have that available. Or a dongle, it works that way too. Now, you can see taking a look at them, they've got these nice soft suction cups on there for the ears. They're very comfortable, especially for long-term wear. The headphones themselves, they don't pivot or turn side to side, none of that business, but they do work great. They're just straight up nice functional headphones, and they're comfortable, which is important. They extend out. You can adjust them to fit your individual size and comfort. All the buttons are on one side. You can see clearly the volume up, volume down, the bass up button. You get that multifunction button, which you can also use and hold down to get access to your Google Assistant or Siri, depending on what kind of phone you're listening to. Now, I do want to say that they don't have aptX or AAC support, which is kind of odd that it doesn't have either of them, but for sub $40 earphones, these things have more than enough power and sound quality to make up for it. So they do sound really good. The only thing you really have to worry about is maybe a little bit of latency between some video games or maybe a movie or something, depending on what show you're watching. But otherwise, the audio is perfectly fine, and I haven't personally experienced any issues. Now, you do have all these different functions you can do with the buttons to skip the tracks or go backwards, volume up, volume down, all that good stuff. And it does have built-in microphones so you can make phone calls as well. So that's also an option. Now, the sound quality on the phone calls is good. It's not as good as the Q20s or other headphones that have active noise cancellation or CVC noise cancellation for phone calls, but overall, I don't think there's any other headphones out there under probably even the $50, $60, $70 price point that come close to the level of power and performance that the Q10s bring to the table. Whole package is totally impressive. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the sound and the performance on the Q10s. So, like I said, and I alluded to in the beginning, I got the Q20s first, and I didn't really look at the Q10s because, well, the one, they weren't offered to me, but two, I thought the Q20s were better. And that's just because Q20, Q10, typically, whenever products have higher series numbers, it usually means they're newer or they're nicer or, whatever. That's absolutely not the case. And that's one thing that I talked about in my comparison video between the Q20s and the Q10s. that's just how they name them. So the Q20s are the hybrid active noise cancellation ones. These are the ground and pound, pure power, tons of bass, like really, really good sound performance. Now the Q20s, they sound really good too, but they're more towards the comfort, sophistication, active noise cancellation environment. Totally different world. These have tons of power. They get like a good 5 to 7 decibels louder than the Q20s. They get really loud. And it was funny, I set them on the table, and this is kind of a little bit of a comparison time, but I was getting my wife to listen to them because I was like, honey, these things sound amazing. They're so much more powerful. And I pushed the Q20s across the table, and I'm sitting 4 or 5 feet away, and these are still sitting over by me. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can still hear those across the table. And I can barely hear these. So the volume on these, supremely better than the Q20s, has so much power, so much bass, and then you have the bass up button, so you can kick the bass up even higher. So if you're a bass head, you're totally gonna love these things. If you like to listen to your music loud, if you like a ton of power, if you really want to crank those decibels up, these right here are what you want, and they're less than 40 bucks. So these right here, if I were to recommend any set of headphones for anyone under 100 bucks, I would say go out and buy these. And you're probably thinking, okay, we're talking like 30, 35 bucks for a pair of headphones. How can they be that good? I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. But whenever I put these things on and I was listening to them, I was genuinely blown out of my seat. I was so impressed with these things. And it takes a lot to do that. I listen to a lot of earbuds. I listen to a lot of headphones. I listen to a lot of audio products. And I have not been this impressed with a set of headphones in a very, very long time. So if you are on the fence about getting these, if you're curious about them, rest assured you're going to love them. Now, you get 60 hours of playtime. You get like 4 hours of playtime off of a 5 minute charge. Sorry, 5 hours of playtime on a 5 minute charge. They've got the dual 40 millimeter drivers. They've got everything you could possibly ask for inside of here. And then they look cool too. They're black and they're red. Now, they don't rotate and they don't pivot and all that good stuff. But for a straight up good pair of headphones that are going to last you, that are going to last all day, last into the next day. They're great for working out. They're great for everything. These are the best, dollar for dollar headphones that I've listened to in a very long time. Now, the mids and the highs are nice. They don't have active noise cancellation, so at lower volumes, that you can hear stuff that's going on around you. It doesn't create that artificial, sound seal where basically it isolates you from the rest of the outside world. But they sound genuinely good. They've got so much power, and when you turn these things up, you're not going to care about what's going on in the outside world because you're not going to hear it by virtue of the sheer amount of power and volume these things crank out. So that's really all I have to say about them. They're just phenomenal. They're really good. They're impressively good. So I've gone on and on and on about them enough. They're just good. So great power, great bass, great volume. Above average mids and highs. You're going to have a great listening experience. You're really going to enjoy them. They'll last you up to 2 days on one charge. I think that pretty much has the resume pretty well for these things. So that's all I've got. If you got any questions on the Soundcore Life Q10s, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell like I mentioned in the beginning. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you guys next time.